So we're recording this podcast earlier than usual.
Yes, earlier than normal.
Which honestly wouldn't really matter because it's not like we're super topical usually. But the election's on Tuesday. We're recording it before then. So
when this episode comes out,
it's sort of
someone will have won.
I'm trying to think like another time where what we talk about, we're going to sound like there might be certain things where it's like, wow. Like if, like, you know how like there were certain movies that like came out like right after 9/11 and they all did terrible, or they like Band of Brothers on HBO came out like right after 9/11. And so it didn't do that well when it came out because everybody's like, we don't want to talk about violence.
We don't want to talk about this.
Or like Boondock Saints, I think that movie too or something.
Yeah.
Like what if something happens? What if something crazy happens and everything we say is actually like really offensive?
I know. I think, was it Mariah Carey that like they tried to do like, I don't know if it's a conservatorship, but they like tried to put her in like some sort of like mental place.
Yeah.
But 9/11 happened and she was like, peace out. And so she didn't actually go in or something like that.
What's so funny about that is I literally have in my notes for today's episode, like if you go on like Reddit or Twitter or any of those, Instagram, anything like that, like the only thing celebrities are doing right now is telling you to vote for Kamala.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Dennis Quaid. Like a few celebrities are like Trump. And then you got some weirdos with like the Jill Stein. But for the most part, it's like if you're a celebrity right now, you do nothing except for being like Kamala.
Yeah.
Or promote Wicked, maybe.
Yes.
But
I was going to say the premiere is tonight.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Is that why I'm seeing a ton of it?
Yes. I was going to say, Cynthia Erivo, guess what she wore to the premiere?
Green.
Sunglasses.
Okay.
Can't see her eyes.
Well, we're erasing her.
What happened to, we need to see her eyes.
Cynthia,
you can't wear sunglasses to the premiere.
You're erasing yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's so fun. Well, if you don't know, Cynthia Erivo, like we talked about in a previous episode, she just freaked out because somebody did like a fan edit that wasn't offensive at all. And apparently it was like the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone ever. Like forget about the war in Gaza.
Yeah.
What happened to her, she said she'd never seen anything more offensive than this.
Yes.
And I don't want to go back into it, but it might have been the least offensive thing I've ever seen.
Ever.
At all. But anyway, Mariah Carey.
I actually don't even know if that story's true. I feel like I might be mixing her up with someone else, but
it's something Cynthia
either way,
would do.
Mariah Carey also had like an album drop on 9/11 or something.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying though is, so Mariah Carey though, her recent posts have been, there's a new Mariah Carey wax figure at Madame Tussauds, which made me think, do you think Mariah Carey knows there's an election that's about to happen? Do you think she knows?
I think she does. And I think she literally is like, I don't care.
I bet she's a Trump fan.
I think she is too.
Yeah.
Or she literally just does not give a fuck.
Mariah goes against the grain.
She does.
Yeah.
But she's like one of those people who's like allowed to, which is part of my argument of let people be divas. We're like, that's why I'm like, why is everyone always hating on J-Lo? Let people be divas.
Is J-Lo a diva?
Yes.
Mariah's a diva.
Yes. In fact, they don't like each other because they're both having a diva off.
Well, that's a real diva off. But then I'm confused though, because it's like, I thought a diva was like,
you could have like, oh, the divas, like where it's just like powerhouse singers, but it's like legit divas, like Hollywood divas.
Yeah.
It's like Mariah Carey's like number one.
Basically, if they worked in any other industry, we call them bitches.
Yes.
Like real stuck up bitches who think a lot of themselves.
But diva kind of has like a little bit of a royal vibe to it.
Yeah, because you have to have earned that you're a diva.
Yes. And that's why I'm okay with people being divas, is because clearly they bring something to the table.
Remember the movie Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen?
Yes.
I never saw it, but I read the title one time and I can't get it out of my head.
Like early 2000s movies were just so good.
Yeah. And then wasn't there one like Confessions of a Shopaholic or something?
Yes, there was Confessions of a Shopaholic.
That was a big trend.
Yes.
That was a big
we were just talking about how like princess movies were really hot for a minute. Where
can't do it anymore.
Yeah, princesses just aren't in the same way. Because I watched all of Monte Carlo last night.
Yeah.
And that has to do with like her being mistaken for a princess. And
I mean, talk about movie trends. It's like when you were describing Monte Carlo, I was like, that sounds like the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Yes.
Where she's confused for a pop singer.
Uh-huh.
Which is in itself a ripoff of Hannah Montana and that whole plot line to an extent.
Kind of, yeah. It's like the reverse where she's pretending that she's not.
Yeah, what if normal? Or for, I've seen our audience demographics, so nobody's seen this movie. Or the movie Dave with Kevin Kline. He looks a lot like the president. It's very different from everything else we've discussed so far. But Dave's a great movie.
That was a great movie. We did watch that.
Yeah.
Did we watch that with your grandma?
Yeah, she was like, you have to watch Dave.
Yeah, so it was a great movie.
You have to watch Dave.
You have to watch
You
Dave.
have to.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's we'll probably talk about the election in this episode a ton, but just know that for us, when we're recording this, because we're recording this earlier than normal, it has not happened for us yet.
Yeah, find some humor in the fact that we clearly don't know.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win?
I have a feeling it's going to be Trump.
And I have a feeling it's going to be Harris.
I know. I feel like we're both having opposite feelings. Mine is just based on the amount of undecided voters this year.
Yeah.
They really need the undecided voters, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. Because I think it's really close, and I think that
the polls are weirdly, because right now the polls are like 50-50.
Yeah.
For like all of the close states. And I forget who it was, but basically somebody kind of pointed out, or maybe I just came up with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a genius. Basically, the polls were so off in 2016, and they were so off in 2020 that these pollsters at this point, it's like, if they're so off again, why would we hire you?
Yeah.
So because they were so off, they underestimated Trump in 2016 by a good amount. They underestimated him in 2020 by a lot. Mm-hmm. They're like, we can't underestimate him again. If we do, we're fucked. So they're, I think all of the pollsters, I think that they're adding like 5% to Trump.
That's true.
And I think it's that. And I also think it's like, I think the abortion stuff is
definitely
is a much bigger thing than people don't.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, that definitely, that's like if there's immigration and abortion seem to be the top.
And the economy.
Yeah,
too.
economy. But those are kind of like the top issues this time around. So
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It just feels like, to me, it feels like Harris is going to win.
Yeah.
And it'll be kind of like a little bit more dramatic. Either way, I think that whoever wins, they're going to win by it. Like, it looks like everything's going to be 50-50. There's a really high likelihood it's going to be 270 to 268. Again, this is so funny for people listening to this right now. Mm-hmm. 270 to 268. That seems to be what everybody's predicting. It's either going to be that or it's going to be like 346 to 231, because the second one swing state goes, they're all going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
It'll be a really tight race, but it'll, on electoral college wise, look like super far apart.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Well, there's another some kind of election happening that we talked about weeks ago and never actually like concluded it. Sexiest Man Alive.
Yes.
Cover comes out, I think, November 12th. So I think that's like next week.
Do we have any hints?
No. So they've done other categories. Like sexiest musician was Harry Styles.
Okay. That's fair.
I forgot who sexiest TikToker was, they announced.
Whoever it is, it's stupid.
There was a guy I like don't know. It's one of those like I dance guys.
Is TikTok still known as like a dance
I think
thing? Is that what it's like first? Like
that's what it was like known for, but I think like people who actually use TikTok know, but I think for the like TikTok's a dancing app, like people who aren't on it, they probably think it's just dancing.
Yeah.
And kids.
It's kind of like what the people who look down on it are. Like when people who call Instagram or Facebook Instaface. And it's like, oh, I get it.
You're old.
You're old and you're cool. You don't.
I don't do those things.
Yeah, that's not my generation.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, TikTok, you mean where a bunch of kids dance and make money off of it somehow?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Because for Sexiest Man, I don't know, because I've just realized the past like 5 years, it's not been anyone relevant. And they need to like go back to doing it to where it's relevant. Because I know that it's because the audience for people is...
Nobody relevant would say, like, no, if it was a TikToker, nobody who watches TikTok buys the People magazine Sexiest Man Alive.
But I feel like it's just such like a big thing every year that it's like everyone talks about it.
Like a collectible?
Yeah, but I just mean for like the overall cover, like whoever wins Sexiest Man, it's never anyone who's like
sexy
really done anything that year.
No.
Like it was Patrick Dempsey last year.
I heard, maybe this is just online gossip, that basically they buy it.
I think so too.
Like the agency's like, hey, our guys had a bad couple of years.
Yeah.
Let's buy him Sexiest Man Alive, and that'll kind of...
I saw in Demois someone was offering to pay this year.
Yeah. Did we ever figure out who Demois was?
Still don't know.
You think the person who is Demois... If you don't know what Demois is... Yeah, I don't know our audience at all.
I know. Our audience is so all over the place these days, so apologies if we talk about shit you don't care about. But Demois is just basically, it's an anonymous blog ran by someone where people get to submit like tips, sightings, like things about celebrities, like things you hear. So it's not 100% accurate, obviously.
And they submit it like they're Nostradamus with the vaguest thing ever. It's like, this
A-lister.
A-lister who's been married for 14 years to blah, blah, blah.
To a baking queen or like something like that.
Even now that's too hinty.
Yeah. It's like, it's usually a riddle.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're just straight up like, saw Blake Lively at the bodega today, blah, blah, blah. Like yeah. But when it's hot goss, it's written in a riddle.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good. So it's fun. It's a fun page, but
not really good ethics as far as the page goes. They're throwing out a lot of sort of like vague riddle stuff without any sort of like source or proof. There's going to be a moment where Dumois will get sued because...
I don't know though, because it's all like allegedly.
It's all allegedly, but the people who follow it are the most vocally... Like, I'm going to call them out. The people who follow that stuff, the people who...
Me?
Sure, you. The people who harass...
Oh, I don't do that.
People like celebrities online and demand apologies and demand all this stuff.
If you fucking write a hate comment towards someone, like to any degree, even if they did something, like I guess it's like you can write them a hate comment if they did something horrible, but also I just feel like just unfollow them. Yeah. Just be like, okay, I'm no longer giving this person my attention. Like I think it's so weird to like get on your high horse and be like, I don't know.
The amount of times I'll write something, and I actually don't really write anything angry, but the amount of times I'll write like a text, write a tweet, something, and just be like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like everybody should do that with the hate comment. But like those people who, the fact that anyone who demands an apology from a celebrity needs to, I like hate to say touch grass, but they need to just get the stick out of their ass and look in the mirror and be like, oh wait, I'm mediocre. I'm normal.
Yeah. And you're allowed to hate celebrities or be upset or offended by celebrities.
Why do they have to apologize to fucking you?
But like the thing is, even if they do apologize, nobody takes the apology.
No, that's the worst thing you can do. I've always said, if you get canceled, the worst thing, just don't even acknowledge it. Just keep going. Because the second you apologize it, that's when the CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, that's when they can turn that into a story.
Yeah.
Because some random person demanding that you apologize isn't a story, but you apologize. They can be like, Michaela Pascal apologizes for that. Now that's on the front page.
Yeah.
And now it's a bigger thing.
Yeah. And I would be all for apologies way more if people actually like took them sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, obviously if someone did horrible things, it's like, and we're not going to forgive Diddy, well,
slow down. What could Diddy do? I'm gonna paint a scenario for you. Okay. So we're just gonna take what you said. We're not gonna forgive Diddy. Okay. Imagine a world. There's an asteroid coming.
Okay.
All right. And basically we know what we have to do. We have to send up a rocket ship. I'm basically describing the movie Deep Impact and the movie Armageddon. They're the same movie, but you tell me which one's better. I like them both. There's an asteroid coming. It's going to destroy the planet. It's in 2 weeks. We have a rocket because NASA saw this ahead of time. Now it's finally leaking out to the media. I'm just describing Deep Impact. And the problem is that the rocket, which has the missile, it has to be guided by an astronaut. Mm-hmm. And who are we going to sacrifice? Like, that's so fucked up to ask them to. I'm sure a lot of people are going to stand up, but the person who really stands up is Diddy. And Diddy says, I'll do it. And Diddy flies that rocket ship right into the asteroid, and billions of lives
saved.
I mean, probably trillions of lives if you count the future of humanity.
That's true.
Are saved because of Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Combs. Now do you forgive him? Now is it okay?
I'd say.
Is that not enough?
I'd say he did a great thing. And
he did the work, you could say.
Maybe he did.
That's what I love too, when they apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm reflecting. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get off social media. I'm going to do the work.
Yeah.
What's the work? Talking to some therapist you pay a bunch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not okay to hit women or something. I don't know. Now I know.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
I mean, I guess it would be a net positive for Diddy, but
Not enough though.
But maybe we can consider that like his punishment. Like his sentence.
Okay, but then that in theory, that means he's forgiven. He's atoned. That's what punishments are supposed to do. They're supposed to be you paying the price.
That's true. It's true.
He paid the price. Is that a big enough price for?
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
What about like Chris Brown? If Harvey Weinstein. I mean, Dave Chappelle has a good bit where he's like, he's talking about like Bill Cosby, and he's like, look, Bill Cosby, terrible person. But he paid for like 10,000 kids to go to college.
Yeah.
It's like, do we call it even? I don't think so.
I don't think so. But yeah, you're right. At what point do we call it even?
At what point do you do that?
She wants to lick your mic right now. If you're audio listener, there's a little dog on Jack's lap.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, back to people's sexiest. Mm-hmm. Who do you think it'll be this year? Okay, you know what? Better question. If it was more relevant to the year, who do you think it would be? Because 2 years ago and last year, I was like, it should be John Cena.
Yes.
I'm such on the Cena train.
I don't think it was a Cena year though.
This year wasn't a Cena year.
No, we're not in C-Nation.
We are not in C-Nation. I guess maybe a Glenn Powell. Like we had Twisters.
It should be Glenn Powell probably.
Honestly, he should be winning Sexiest Man, but he won't.
This was his year? You don't think so?
No, they keep giving it to old guys.
Yeah, because that's who buys it. But
I know.
But I know from my mother and from my mother's friends, I bet they all love Glenn Powell.
Oh, I bet they do.
So I bet you they would buy it. Like, you know who I really like this? Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
He was in the Top Gun movie, which they all saw.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was really charming.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
He is. He was in the Sydney Sweeney movie.
Yeah.
He just did Twisters.
My grandma has opinions about Glenn Powell. You know that.
Yes.
So I think they'd buy it.
Yeah. So I feel like Glenn Powell would be a fair choice. I just don't feel like it will be him. I feel like it's going to be someone older. How long ago did Ryan Reynolds win it? Has it been long enough where he could win it again? Because I could see him buying it.
They would buy it for sure.
I could see him buying it this year.
To get that PR. But at what point, because right now they're kind of negative PR, right? The Lively Reynolds thing. At what point though, are they like, you know what? No, we're not going to like, okay, for instance, say, they're bidding. What if Diddy tries to buy it? What if Diddy was like, I want to be Sexiest Man? What's their price? 10 million? 50 million? He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1 billion.
What is the price?
Sexiest man alive. You think people would do that?
I don't know if they would.
For $1 billion, I think they would.
I don't think they would.
I think for $1 billion, I think they'd say, yep, we'll do one last issue. You now own the magazine.
Yeah, this is for you now.
I think people's trying to get out of that business.
Yeah.
It don't work no more.
Yeah, I think Glenn Powell should probably win.
Yeah. It was his year.
Yeah.
It was his year. Him or like a James Blunt type.
James Blunt type.
James Blunt should always fucking win.
I know, you love James Blunt.
Who doesn't love James Blunt? I'm still waiting. For one person to say, I don't enjoy his music. I haven't heard one person say that. And don't say you, because sometimes you'll say crazy things to me and I just have to be like, she didn't mean that.
No, yeah, I'm the total blunt head.
You love smoking a blunt.
I do. I love smoking a blunt.
You love it. It's one thing I'm excited for the post-election thing is for the everything to not be politicized as much.
Yes.
I'll give you the example that made me think of this. So that squirrel was put down in New York.
Oh my God. Literally, you're going to make me cry.
No, it's a tragic story. It's the most fucked up thing ever. And somehow I didn't read that much into it, but for whatever reason, it sounds like the Democrats did it. Like the Democratic politics.
It appears that's what happened.
It appears that the Democrats killed this squirrel everyone loves. And in a normal society, normal times, it would be like, oh, fuck the Democrats. Why would you do that? But because we're so fucking politicized now, and because we're past the, everybody's just on a sports team now. If you're a Republican, you're with them.
Yeah.
If you're a Democrat, you're with them. That's why it's like, in the past 10 years, without like anybody noticing or appreciating it, it's like all of a sudden the Democrats are like the war hawks.
Yeah.
When did that? But
it does that thing where it switches.
It
the parties gradually. Switch. Yeah.
But the teams don't switch.
Yeah. So, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Where the teams are switching.
Kind of. Well, the policies are switching, but like I think that odds are somebody who was a Democrat 10 years ago is a Democrat still.
Yeah.
And the Republicans 10 years ago who were like, no, we got to buy them Iraq again. Now they're like, we need to get out of all wars.
Yeah.
We need to stop being the world's police. Like it just switches. But so my point is, whatever your side does, you just defend. And whatever the other side does, even if it's a good thing, is bad. Mm-hmm. So I saw on Twitter, for some fucking reason, all of these like Democrats on Twitter, like defending killing the squirrel. I'm not even kidding you. It was the most like, what? There were so many people who were like, oh my God, so a squirrel died, whatever. And it's like, that's where I was like, okay, this is two-team sport. This is like rooting for a sports team. This is too much. This isn't real.
I just love the, like, we're going to remove a squirrel for its health and safety. Yeah, we're going to euthanize it.
What?
What?
And they killed a raccoon too?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They took two of them.
But
that guy had the score for like 7 years. But that's longer than we've had our dog. I beat
it
someone
was
up.
7 years?
Yeah, he had a squirrel for like 7 years. I would not going to say the M word on YouTube, but someone
that's how
would be catching these hands.
It's how you create a joker.
Yeah.
It's how you create a joker. Is doing that.
I think that's the day I decide. I can't even go on this rant because YouTube's going to completely flag us. But just say I would be making a contraption that would be going somewhere.
And there would be an event.
An event,
if you will.
That
it's like, just all I'm saying is don't be surprised if that guy becomes John Wick.
Yeah.
They killed John Wick's dog. They killed his squirrel.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for the dog killers? Not good. We can stop talking about it because also by then it'll probably be old news. But anyway, I just thought it was hilarious.
Did you see that the fake Trump statement?
No.
Someone, like some fake news place, made like a statement from Trump about the squirrel.
What did he say?
Just being like, this is insane. The Democrats did this or whatever. I believed it for a second. And then I was like,
are we sure that's not real? Because that sounds like something that you said.
No, that's why I believed it at first. But then I was like, hold on, Michaela, let me Google. And it wasn't real.
It was only a week ago when Trump tweeted that he would fix all the McFlurry machines at McDonald's.
And now I think they're saying that franchises are now having, they now have the ability to hire their own maintenance people to fix the ice cream machines.
Right to repair?
Yeah. Because normally they would have to send someone from McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a huge legal thing, especially in Australia, basically, the right to repair. If you buy something, a lot of these, it's like when you, like your car, whenever there's an issue, I'm always like, go to the mechanic down the street, or what we usually do is let me take the car to the mechanic down the street so you don't have to deal with Tito. And then you, because they're going to fix it for $75. If you take it to Chevrolet, they're going to be like, well, actually, this part is very specific. It's 900 and they like look at you and try to figure out how much you can possibly give them.
Yeah. Like the one time they charged me $2,000 when I went in because I was like, hey, my car won't turn off.
Mm-hmm. And I said, that's the last time you're going to take your car. I'll take your car in now.
And they just like really did it without like telling me. And they're like, by the way, you owe $2,000. And I was like,
no.
Okay.
Now, that's why it's like, but the right to repair thing of like, if you own a John Deere, that's the famous one, for the longest time, you would have to call John Deere if anything broke.
Yeah.
You couldn't call a general mechanic. And it's just, it's so fucked up and it's terrible for the working people.
I know. But it's like, but then sometimes you have quality control with that. Like Coke is super like, they run that shit like the Navy.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Coke's a great company.
Coke is a great company.
Yeah.
One time I did a Coke commercial. Do you know that?
I did not.
So I did a Coke commercial when I was maybe like 14, 15, something like that. And basically what they do every year for the Super Bowl is all these like independent like filmmakers, directors, whatever, get like a small budget and get to make their own Coke commercial. And then Coke decides which one of those is going to be the Super Bowl ad.
The winner goes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I basically was filming a Super Bowl ad for Coke.
Yeah.
Mine did not get picked.
No.
So it did not. But basically it was like me and this boy, either me or him drank the Coke and then wrote a message in a bottle, in the Coke bottle, sent it out. And then the other one found it. And then like you open it up and there's like a map to like a Coke, and then we like drink a Coke at the end.
And then you cut to the end shot of just the two of you sitting together, cheersing Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it only aired in Mexico in the end because
Mexican Coke's great though.
Yeah.
They could do the real sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary tomorrow.
I know.
We've almost been married for 1 year.
Happy anniversary.
Happy early anniversary.
I know.
Have you learned anything in our first year of marriage?
I don't know.
I did just see Tim Allen was like, what me and my wife do to keep the romance alive. They've taken up a new activity. They stretch together. And I was like, that's a very you and me thing to do.
But that does sound like I really do think it's like, so there's a couple, we've talked about this before. The two things that I love, and I'm going to add the second one too, because we've talked about it before, there's nothing that makes me laugh more than when a couple says to another person or another couple, like, no, marriage, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work.
It's really hard.
And it's like, it sounds like you two aren't compatible and you're probably going to get divorced if I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you two like each other. Like
it's not supposed to be hard work.
Yeah. I was just like talking to you the other day when I was like, I was out and about like at the mall and like, I was just kind of people watching like all these different couples and like how much they just didn't really seem to be excited to be with each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm really glad that we're a couple that really likes each other.
Yeah.
Like I love to just like hang out with you.
If we didn't, we wouldn't be together.
No. Like, no.
But they're like, oh, well, it's hard work.
And it's like,
that's not what life is supposed to be. Like, your relationship's not supposed to be hard work.
And like, maybe it's because we don't have kids yet. Like, I feel like it gets harder when you have kids, obviously, because you have to like learn new routine and stuff like that.
But that's just like, work. That's just being like, hey, but that's like, life is hard work.
Yeah.
The marriage isn't supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like, we have to constantly go to therapy. We have to constantly acknowledge each other's presence and blah, blah, blah. That's just a given. That's just being in a relationship. We're not going to therapy, but it's like, if you don't like each other, like, yeah, things will get busier. I don't think that's what they're talking about though, right?
Yeah. No, because it's like, if anything, I feel like we'd be a couple that maybe fights more often because we work and live together.
And we never fight.
And like, we are a 2-person business.
Yeah.
And
it all works.
I really like working with you.
Yeah.
So it's weird to me. And like, obviously there's outside factors that make life stressful, but
that's different.
Yeah.
That's not like
it's like, it should be like you and me versus the problem, not like.
What are they working on?
I don't know.
When people say it's hard work, what
is this hard work that everyone like?
I'm guessing there's an imbalance. I'm guessing that one person wants more, like attention or something, or wants more of something, and the other person doesn't want to do it. And so it's
I feel like you like, maybe there's typically like one person who's more selfish.
Yeah,
and like I think that like
you're the selfish one.
I'm so selfish.
Everyone knows you're the selfish.
But it's like I think like maybe that's the problem like with people is like there are a lot of people who are just like generally me first, like, which is a good thing in a lot of ways. Like, put yourself first. Totally.
No, I completely disagree. In life, there are two types of people. There are givers and there are takers. Be a giver.
Yeah.
The takers, they might end up being a billionaire. They probably won't be.
Yeah.
Be a giver.
Yeah. Be a giver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who just go into relationships being like, this benefits me or whatever. And so they don't maybe give as much back to the other person. Like maybe that's what it is. And
then
like,
at the same time, do you think you'd ever hear like a what do you call it? A trophy wife or trophy husband, or like a sugar baby situation where the couple says it's hard work? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Like, I know, we know the deal.
They know the deal. And I think those relationships are healthy because it's like, they both know what the deal is. They're both, they like each other and they're both, it's mutually beneficial. A lot of friendships are mutually beneficial friendships. And so it's like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But even then, it's just seeming a little bit like that's not what marriage is supposed to be. Like, marriage isn't supposed to be like hey, I'm with you because I like you and everything like that, but also because we get, everything's cheaper because we get to split the cost.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I was going to say, so marriage is hard work. That always makes me laugh. I'm like, get divorced. And then 2 is, when people say, and granted, this one isn't as harsh of a feelings, but when people are like, to keep things fresh, to keep things spicy, because I love basically what they're saying is, listen, we're no longer attracted to each other.
Yeah.
If we could, given the option, we wouldn't have sex with each other. So we have to sort of trick ourselves and sort of get ourselves in the mood, We have to do things. I just think that's always the fun. Basically, Tim Allen saying like, here's how me and my wife are able to have sex at this point.
After like 20 years together, maybe being like, we get really, but it's like, if you're under 10 years in a relationship and you're like, we need to keep it alive. It's like, uh-oh.
Like, that's what it's just so funny hearing Tim Allen say it. Basically what he's saying is like, hey, my marriage is great. And it's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And he's like, we do have problems where we're not attracted to each other. But in case you're wondering, we do still fuck. And we fuck because we stretch together.
Yeah, honestly, when we got married, nothing changed.
I told you that too.
No, and I knew that. Yeah. Because we kind of like married each other pretty quickly mentally, I think.
We had already lived together and had 2 dogs and worked together 24/7. I was like, you obviously were like, yeah, I know. But I just remember saying, I don't like the day we get back from our wedding. It's gonna be like any other day.
Yeah,
we'll just have rings on. That's the difference.
Yeah,
it is so funny.
No, like we just Yeah, like very quickly we just were like, okay, lives together. It also too, because we worked together, it was very just like we were immediately. It's like, yeah, we share a job. We have shared finances pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Which was kind of, in retrospect, kind of crazy when it's like we were dating under a year and it's like, well, we have this business together. So
because we're both givers.
We share money. Yeah.
We're both givers. Like at no point ever, if you were like, hey, I need money, I'd be like, have all my money. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like we're a team.
Yeah. Like,
so that's not a problem.
Like if I took your credit card out of your wallet or you took my credit card out of my wallet, neither of us would like blink an eye. It's like, yeah.
No, in fact, neither of us would probably notice for a while because that happens all the time. Well, I would never notice.
I know. I've been actually really bad about wearing my ring lately, which is crazy.
Because I'm totally fine with that, right?
No, I love to wear my ring. It's just, I have to fix it.
I love the guys who are like,
I'm afraid the diamond's going to fall out. And so that's not worth it for me to wear my ring. I have to take it in to get fixed.
That's like the most anxiety I think I could feel. I also don't have the thing too, where it's like, why aren't you wearing your ring? Are you trying to tell the world that
I'm available?
That you're available? Because you're not, you're my property.
I know.
You're my wife, therefore you're mine.
See, it's funny because if you actually didn't wear your ring, I'd be like, why aren't you wearing your ring?
And that's the difference between us. But I always wear my ring because I'm fidgety. So I wear my grandpa's ring. It's actually like one of my favorite things ever. I wear my mom's dad's ring and it's perfect. His hands are just like mine. We're both kind of like the working man's hands thing. We're broken fingers and everything. It's perfect.
You can't really take it off.
It fits. I have to shove it past the knuckle.
Yeah.
And then it's not coming off.
Yeah. Every now and then, if there's ever a sketch we make where we're not like married in the sketch.
Yeah. And we remember that we're not supposed to be married in the sketch. So I actually do take the ring off.
Yeah. Like I was going to say 90% of the time you're actually wearing a ring in the sketch. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the, like, I think for like the sketch where we did the Lady of the Night sketch.
Yes.
You were wearing your wedding ring in that. Yeah. And people were like, well, he's clearly married. So it's like, shit, that wasn't part of the bit. But
at least that bit would still make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of to an extent.
Yeah.
So I got this ad. It's an app called Date Up. And it's tall dating made easy.
I wonder why you got that advertisement. Because you're into tall women. And I keep telling you this.
Michaela thinks, well, here's a funny story. So Michaela, when we first started dating, within the first 6 months, whatever, and you explained to me what TikTok is.
Yeah.
And so I downloaded TikTok and now I have 2 million followers on it. It's a funny story. I still don't really use it, but I post on it and people seem to enjoy it. They seem to like it. And I make money.
We actually don't make money on TikTok.
Well, yeah, we turned off the creator fund. I got you that thing back on. Every time
we do it, like dings, all our videos are never shown on TikTok. Yeah. It's like not worth it.
No.
Like I hear all these other creators being like, oh, I made like $20,000 like off of this and that. Like some people I do, and I'm like,
well, are they posting 25 videos a day?
Like maybe, but like an Addison Rae type where it's like they're making, But it's like, I hear all these creators. I'm like, okay, so our plumber video got bajillions views. So that's like one of the biggest videos online.
Yeah.
We made, I think, one, it got taken down
on TikTok,
and everyone else gets to fucking make money off of it.
Yeah.
2, I think we made like total like $500 off of it.
Off of the TikTok.
Yeah.
Off of YouTube we made, and Facebook we made a lot more.
Yeah.
But
off of TikTok it was like nothing, and it was like it's almost not. Well, which like $500 is great, but it's like for the magnitude of that video, for any other video. Our regular videos, like on that scale, make what, $2? Like,
especially it's like for anybody listening where you're like, okay, like where this sounds like it's out of bad taste. This was a video I think on TikTok had 40 million views.
Like, over that.
So think about the people who are like, hey, you know what? I want to quit my job. I just want to make TikTok videos and make money off of it. Mm-hmm. If you make $400 or $500 off of 40 million views.
Yeah.
I mean, you better be Addison Rae if you're like, I want to pay my rent.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't actually pay the bills. Anyway, so I am fascinated by very tall women. Mm-hmm. So naturally, my TikTok algorithm took me to tall girl TikTok. Now, what I had to explain to you then, and I've explained to you many times since, is I'm not into tall girls in a sexual way. I'm into tall girls they fascinate me way, the same way identical twins fascinate me. Like I can watch anything with identical twins. I can just watch
listen, if if there's any twins out there, some tall twin sisters, stay away from my husband.
But here's the thing. Here's the other thing. People hear tall and they're like, oh, what? Like 5'8" and up? No. That actually makes me upset. When you see tall girl TikTok stuff, if you're not, I'm interested in women above 6'7", you know? That's where it's fascinating
like
to me.
Super tall girls.
Again, not sexually. It's fascinating. Like, what is life like because it's life as a 6'7" man, I'm sure is
crazy.
You're on another, playing field. But as a 6'7" woman, like at least 6'7" men, it's like they do make some clothes for you. Mm-hmm. There's just no way any business makes pants for a 6'7" woman.
No.
They would make no money. They'd be out of business.
Yeah.
You have to somehow find a way to make sure that all 12 of them are buying from you. So those people just fascinate me. And then you started getting insecure that I'm really interested in tall girls.
I'm insecure. I'm just saying I'm making an observation.
Yeah.
The fact that you're getting a targeted ad for dating up.
I think that I think I'm getting a targeted ad because we have this podcast, and last week's episode we talked about tall people dating. But anyway, it's called Date Up.
Okay.
And it's called Tall. Their ad says Tall Dating Made Easy. Now, here's what I find interesting about this. They show two profiles. They show Pablo, he's 6'4". No, I don't want to open it. Pablo, he's 6'4", height verified. I love that, actually. That's really funny.
How do you verify height?
I don't know. How on earth, what?
Maybe it's on his license. Maybe you need to take a picture of your license.
Okay. It'd be funny if they're...
Because I think a lot of dating apps do that now, which is a good thing. Have you verify your accounts.
Yeah. No, you should, yeah.
Yeah, which is safer.
And then which
is why I got kicked off of dating apps, is because I wouldn't verify my profile.
And then Liana, she's 5'10".
Okay.
He's 27. He's a graphic designer. She's 24. She's an account executive. She went to Oregon State. We don't see where he went in the picture, but it looks like he went to some sort of school.
So could short guys who are into tall women get on this app?
So that's my thought. So I had a friend who was very into Jewish girls. Mm-hmm. And there's J-Date. And he basically explained to me, you don't have to be Jewish to be on J-Date. I'm on J-Date. And
good for him.
So my thought is, I think that there's going to be a lot of tall guys on this thing, height verified. I'm guessing they're just like all dating apps. You know what kills dating apps? Not enough women.
Yeah.
The men buy the premium packages to be able to swipe extra times and see what all those things. Women don't. This weirdly, actually, I think could be a dating app that kind of works.
I think so too.
The problem is it only works for certain people, but I think this could be an actual dating app. By the way, I did not get paid to say this. This just happened literally right before we did the podcast.
Yeah, but if they do want to sponsor us.
Yeah. We'll say we met on
Date Up.
Date Up.
Yeah.
I love the specific. I like Farmers Only.
Yeah, I love specific dating apps. I think there should be way more hyper specific dating apps.
Yeah.
As I'm a taller girl. I'm not like a super. I'm 5'8". No. I'm a tall girl. I'm not like a super tall girl.
I think you and I are basically equal as far as heights go for our genders.
Yes. Where it's we're on the taller side.
Yeah.
I swear the super tall men and tall men always go for really short women.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was so weird because I'm I feel like you have to meet more in the middle. And then the super short girls are always no, I love tall men. And I'm why aren't we dating more on ratio, guys? I feel like it looks kind of crazy when you're 5'3" and this guy is 6'4". It's there's more than a foot difference.
I know what you mean. Yes. I think for a really tall person, in their eyes, everybody's kind of little, so you might as well have some fun with it. Get someone who's 5'3", and then it's kind of fun.
I get if it's that just happens. You just happen to, but I swear, because
that is a thing. You're right.
Where it's a lot of men love short women. And I think it is because of the protector thing or whatever. You like to feel larger, around your partner. And then a lot of women love tall men or whatever. Yeah. And it's just, and I think the whole 6 foot thing just got so in everyone's head with this is my non-negotiable. It's come on, guys. And I just always feel, and then there's the middle girls, they're around my height, between I'd say 5'6" to 5'10" girls.
Yeah.
Always left out to dry,
I'd say, yeah. I mean, you're right. Cause it's it makes sense from a biological standpoint why women would want taller men. Mm-hmm. They can see further. When we were cavemen, they had advantages.
Yeah.
But you're right. Why do taller men go for the shorter women? I don't know. Yeah. Huh.
I think don't know. Good date idea or good dating app idea. I like that. But anyways, I have a quiz that's going around on TikTok right now.
Give it to me.
And it's things that only women know, and they're asking the men in their lives. So I figured I'd ask you these questions.
Please.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you what these things are, and you're just going to tell me what you think they are. A few of them you might know.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time together.
And I know random shit.
Yeah, you know random stuff. Okay. Here's one you should probably know. What sizes do tampons come in?
Okay, so I bought your tampons before. I mean, they do come in small, medium, large, XL. But are you talking about like there's also the like heavy, light, and like regular.
That would be the size.
Okay.
Small, medium, large isn't not.
There are small, medium, large. I buy your tampons.
The small, medium, large pads.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But tampon
specifically.
Tampons' absorption level.
Like heavy flow.
Yeah, light, regular.
Are we giving me that one?
Yeah, I'll give you that one because you named it both. What is a water line?
I mean, to me, the water line is the point in the pool or the ocean where your balls go in and you get really chilly.
Not a water line.
What's the water line?
The water line is the part where you put eyeliner on the inside of your eye right there.
That's a nightmare.
That's a water line.
You women are so brave.
Yeah. What is purple shampoo used for?
Wait, what?
Purple shampoo.
Like a purple bottle of shampoo?
Not the purple bottle, not like the brand, but like there's a type of shampoo that's purple.
Oh, does it actually look purple?
It's purple.
Okay, well, I'm going to guess if it's purple, it's either for one of two reasons. Either the acting chemical in it to handle like, and don't tell me if I'm wrong yet, to handle like dandruff or something like that. It's a naturally purple chemical, or maybe it's a chemical where it's easy to make purple. So it's either like a dandruff shampoo, or it's something to do with your hair. Like, is purple shampoo for like, if you just bleached your hair blonde, you use purple shampoo, or if you just darkened it, is it a color thing?
Why do you know about blondes?
This is my problem. Is it a blonde? Is that
it's for blondes, and so it's basically like color correcting your blonde. Is you use purple because it cancels out the other.
You want to know how I guessed right with blondes?
How?
Because Selsun Blue is their thing is that's the shampoo you use from the advertisements when you dye your hair black, because their slogan is you don't go black without the blue. So boom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a money piece?
A money piece? Like a timepiece? Like a timepiece is a watch? Is a money piece like a wallet?
No, but
is a money piece an outfit you just can't get enough of?
No. It has to do with hair. You will never guess.
I'll never guess this. No.
A money piece is basically, it's a style of hair where you like have a highlight or like a color, like a blonde of like just one strip of hair on the front of your hair.
Oh.
Those are called a money piece.
It's kind of like related to like the skunk haircut or
a little
to
bit.
the Tulsi Gabbard
it's basically
type.
Just one like color in the front of your face.
Yeah,
it's a money piece.
I like that.
This one you know. What's a French tip?
That's what your nails are. It's where your nail looks normal, but then the tips are usually white, right? Yeah, I knew that one.
Okay, yeah, I knew you'd know that one.
Yeah.
What does LBD stand for?
Life before death, baby. Ladies be drama.
Every woman needs one.
Little bit of dough. I just started talking.
A little black dress.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
LBD.
I like it. Not to be confused with the little black book.
No.
Which, if I am correct, means phone numbers.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's
the little black book is like this is my list of guides. My list of dates.
What's a flyaway?
Many things. Next question. It's many things. A flyaway is a type of scarf. And it's a scarf that like what you would wear if you're driving like an old timey race car. Like as you're flying, you know.
I really like that answer.
Because that's the right answer. That is an answer.
Flyaways are like these like little pieces of hair that are like broken and they kind of just fly away.
I feel like you've used that in a sentence before with me, and I've never.
These flyaways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What is a weft?
A weft? It's how if you were doing an offensive impression of an Asian person, you would say left. I know my rights and wefts. Right? Correct, right?
I mean,
What is it then?
I mean, you're not incorrect, I guess.
Can you spell weft?
W-E-F-T.
A weft is how... Oh, it's how the guy who talks to Bugs Bunny. He says, wabbit season.
Yeah, wabbits.
It's to my weft.
Weft is like basically a piece of hair that you sew into your hair. Like
There's a lot of hair questions. You know I'm not going to get the hair ones all the way right.
Okay, how about this? What's dermaplaning?
Dermaplaning. Well, derma is Greek for skin. And dermaplaning, I'm guessing it's some psycho shit you guys do to try to look younger or smoothen or something. So I'm guessing that, like, okay, you know that thing that CJ has where he puts it over my brother? He has that, it's like you kind of like, you like push it against your face. And it's like, ooh, this feels really good. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. It's that, but you do it for your skin. So it's like a little not sharp, almost feels kind of like blunt, like a little piece of tile almost, and you rub it against your skin.
What you're thinking about is a gua sha.
A gua sha, yes. Also known as a dermaplane.
What if I told you dermaplaning is actually quite sharp? It's a razor, perhaps.
Are you getting off old, new skin, or getting off the top layers of skin so that new skin will grow?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
You bitches are psycho.
It's basically like...
I want to go into the selling women stuff business.
It's like getting all the peach fuzz and that top layer of skin off your face. It's like a one single blade. And like people do... I don't do that personally because I like my peach fuzz on my face to give me more of a softer look.
Oh, okay.
So I don't do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do that.
Oh, I like it. Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, those are just a few things.
It wasn't as scary as I thought.
No, it's not scary.
No.
It's just like shaving, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, let me throw you those questions.
I wonder if there's a man's version of it.
Definitely.
Of this. But the problem is we don't have as many products.
No, you don't.
So it'd be more like me being like, what's the Battle of the Bulge?
Last night we were watching Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Great movie. All about the romance. Not one of my, I was going to say one of my favorites, but I guess not one of my favorites, but a movie I really like.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's cute. It's a great movie. And you know, the whole movie is about their relationship. That is the entire point of this movie.
Yeah, she's a whore.
It's a rom-com.
Yeah.
And at the very end, they're about to close this business deal, and Jack goes, they're about to close this business deal. This is what I care about. 2% of the movie, not even 2% is about business. It's like 1%. It's basically his passing phone calls are about this business shit.
I'm way more interested in that aspect of the movie.
And you wanted to know about it. I was like, I want to know if they're going to make it.
Sweetie, we know.
Is he going to ask her to stay? Is she not going to take the money from him? Are they going to live happily ever after?
We know that it's going to end well.
But do we?
We don't know if the business deal, he's a corporate raider, which was very big in the 80s. He would basically have hostile takeovers of businesses. It was very big. It was like, it was a whole thing. I'm fascinated by the whole corporate raiding. It doesn't really happen as much anymore, if ever. Although, you know what happened recently? I'm not gonna, nobody gives a fuck. But I was
what? Last time you said no one cares about the beams. We got some comments saying, Jack, I care about the beams.
I'll literally talk. I will talk. Maybe we'll have a segment where it's like, if you have any sort of like household DIY questions, anything.
We should do a submission box where it's basically like Jack answers man's questions.
Yeah. And that'll be at the very end of the episode. So if you're not interested, you can leave. Michaela probably will leave, and I'll just talk for however long to answer all the questions, because I could talk about it forever. That's my passion.
Yeah.
My passion isn't the little bit of like small talk between Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, and there was much. Like, some of it's good. I enjoy some of it.
Quite literally is all I care about.
I know, it's very different.
That's why even where you're you're like watching a legal movie and you're like, oh my God, yeah, like these two lawyers have a romance, and I'm like, I care. That's gonna get me through this.
I care about the case. I care about the trial. What's gonna happen?
But that kind of goes back to, was it last week or the week before, talking about these One Direction imagines. It's like, that's what like my heart is built on. I found some old school One Direction imagines / fan fictions that we touched on last episode or 2 episodes ago, and I found some like actual old ones that I used to read, not like a custom one. And I sent it to you, and Jack just texted me back, women shouldn't be able to vote. Women shouldn't be allowed to vote.
I'm going to say women shouldn't be allowed to vote. At least until we get past the age. You now look back on it, and do you look back on it and you're like, what was this? Or are you still like, no, I get it.
No, I get it.
Then you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
But I'm also like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm getting so much secondhand embarrassment, but I understand.
Okay.
Because that's also what I live for.
The ones you sent me, there was one where it was like,
think I still have them.
Let me read it.
Oh yeah, these ones. You just have to scroll. I don't know which ones.
All right, it says, imagine getting in an argument with Harry. Harry says, babe, let me in, please. You say, no, leave me alone. Go away. Harry says, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything. I said I love you too much to lose you. Also, everything's misspelled. Too much to lose you. Just please don't leave me. That's it. So basically, this imagine is a dysfunctional relationship where Harry did something wrong. He's apologizing. And either he did something so terrible where it's like, okay, break up with him, or you're being weirdly stubborn and are like, no. What's
it's not
like
about that.
You're fantasizing about a bad relationship?
It's just a bad moment because those are the moments that make you,
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck does that mean? You're fantasizing about the bad times?
Not the bad time, but what comes out of the bad times. It's like that's when he shows you he's really gonna.
But that's not what this is. But that's not what this is.
He's fighting for you.
No, he's not. He's just saying, please open the door. For all I know, she says, no, go away. And he's like, okay, I'll give you your space.
Nothing is sexier than a man who begs. Okay?
Is it? I don't think so.
If I say, leave me alone, I don't mean it.
Sometimes you do.
I don't, though.
Okay. No, I'm learning. I learned that in my first year of marriage.
There you go.
Time's still going.
Yeah.
We're still at day 364. And then is the next one, right?
The other way, I think.
Okay, this is another one. Imagine Louis glaring at you because you are both too stubborn to admit your feelings for each other, so you decide to make him jealous. You grab Harry and start grinding on him, staring at Louis the whole time you do it. This sounds like trouble.
It's a game. It's a cat and mouse game.
So
I'm like blushing thinking about this.
So Harry's a bad guy in this. His buddy has a crush on you.
But maybe they haven't talked about it. I don't know. There's no context. They're imagined.
So in your imagination, for this your imagination, Harry and Louis, they don't really discuss things? I feel like in your head, because that's what would happen in real life, but in your head, they talk all the time and they talk about how much they love you.
I don't know.
I think they would.
Maybe it's the secret.
Well,
we don't have the it's not a full fan fiction. It's an imagination. We don't have the context.
Well, so you're too stubborn to admit your feelings for each other. What fucking fourth grade bullshit is this?
Okay, well, you get to remember the fourth graders are writing this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
These people grow up to vote, and I don't think that should be okay.
I used to write these.
Exactly.
And do I not write incredibly funny jokes for you? You
do write very funny jokes for me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you should decide who gets to hold office in this great country. No, I'm kidding. I just think you're too stubborn, so you make him jealous by taking his friend.
Yeah.
And kind of start hooking up with him in a way.
It's a cat and mouse game, okay?
My God.
Women like the chase, okay?
What do you want Louis to do in this situation?
He's gonna get up, he's gonna go after you, he's gonna be like, you're my girl. Okay.
And then Harry's gonna be like, what the fuck, dude?
And Harry's gonna be like, my B, I didn't know that's the girl for you.
Or Harry's like, hey, I also have feelings for this girl. And then what? They fight?
And then they fight.
And that turns you on?
Yeah.
You're breaking up a friendship. You're causing violence. It turns you on?
Yeah.
Women love causing violence. I admit it. That is a thing though too, where it's like, I get that. You want guys to fight for you. Of course you do.
Maybe a little.
I saw a funny tweet that was like, this week that was like, when men say that they'll do anything for a girl, and this is true, what they mean is, I'll fight bad guys and slay dragons and do all that stuff for you. What the girl gets out of it is, I forget what they put, but I was thinking of like, okay, we could make a sketch kind of like this, but it's like, no, we have to write the thank you cards together. Yeah. That's not what I meant by anything. I meant if a wildebeest gets in here, wildebeests aren't actually bad though, right?
Wildebeest?
Yeah, they're like kind of like big yaks or something, right? Isn't it?
Are you thinking water buffaloes?
No, wildebeest. It's an animal.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, these guys, wildebeest.
Oh, so they're close to water buffalo.
Yeah, kind of similar. Okay. But doesn't the name sound like they should be scary animals?
Yeah, no, they're not that.
So forget the wildebeest, but like a
bear or whatever.
Like a bear comes in, I'll be the one who confronts it.
Obviously, it's like, yeah, we want that, but it's like that's not what's top of mind for us ladies.
Top of mind is real tedious bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just had Halloween.
Yeah.
And Jack did the most dad thing ever because we live in like a neighborhood with a bunch of kids.
It was the most dad thing.
And so we this year we passed out candy.
Yeah.
Which was really exciting. We got a bunch of kids came to our door. It was the greatest.
Yeah.
But every time we answered the door, Jack took it upon himself to say, okay, let me guess what each one of you
I have to. Sweetie, I swear to God, I have to guess what they are. And I have to guess in front of them, and I have to know if I'm right.
And I literally, each guess that came in your mouth, it's like, that's not right.
I got one of them right.
You got like one of them right. You got like a Wednesday right.
And I knew who, well, that was like my third guess.
Yeah.
I was like, you're like a dark bitch or something. I somehow pulled a mask. Like, I have no idea how I know what Bluey is, but there was a bunch of Blueys. I was like, Bluey. I knew it. I guess it's the color.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah.
But it was one of those moments where like I had to kind of be like, just let him guess. Just let him do it. Like,
and you know what else I did? I did it to every single kid. They grab the candy and I say, now grab one more.
Yeah.
I love being generous with the candy. And then the funniest thing that came out of it was 2 kids said, that's okay. Now we had a wide variety of the best candies.
Yeah, we didn't have shit candy.
We had really good candies.
Yeah, I was like eating the candy all night. We had Hershey's, Kit Kat, Milky Way, Twix.
Three Musketeers.
You got some Payday. Reese's Cups.
So many Reese's, every type of Reese's.
I like that you say Reese's, but it's Reese's.
Reese's. Well, or I say Reese's because it's Reese's Pieces. And I know that's
Reese's
wrong.
Pieces.
I know.
Reese's. Why do people say Reese's Pieces when Reese's Pieces
is it like a
works better?
Is it like a locality thing? Like, I wonder if people near me say Reese's.
No, because I know plenty of people who say Reese's. Like, it's just one of those things where some people say Reese's and some people say Reese's.
You know how particular I am about spelling and pronunciations. That's why I'm like, this had to be something that I learned.
But that's the thing is there's no like IES at the end of Reese's.
That's what I mean.
Reese's.
It makes no sense for me to do this except for if I had grown up with people saying it's Reese's, I would have. That's the only way I would do it.
That is one thing where, you know what? Because I'm a caramel person till I die, not a caramel.
Yeah,
caramel. I know that there's an extra A in it and technically it's caramel or whatever. I'm a caramel person. I do think a little bit less of people who say Reese's.
Okay. I think people will say caramel or stuck up bitches.
And we are.
And they shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'm trying to get rid of the women vote. I love the argument before they did I forget which amendment was that allowed women to vote, but I just love the argument beforehand. It's like, they're just going to vote with their husbands.
Yeah.
And they were like, all we're doing is, and it's unfair, rewarding husbands because they get 2 votes. And you know what was funny? They were right for like many, many elections in a row. They were right. It's just women voted what their husbands voted. It was only, I think like in the 60s where they started to kind of switch.
Kind of stray.
But like barely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're ready for this week's sports gossip?
Hit me, sister.
Okay, so if you haven't seen this segment before, basically I love football, you do not love football, and so I've learned that the only way to get you interested in football is if I tell you the news like it's gossip. Yes. This week, we're going to actually have like kind of a special sports gossip.
Ooh, special edition.
It's going to be about a new NFL trend, or an NFL trend over the last like 8 years.
Okay.
So when you think of like an NFL head coach, like can you name any NFL head coaches?
Currently Bill Belichick with his 23-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, so he's not a current NFL coach, but that's like who I'm talking about, like him or like Andy Reid. You're thinking of kind of like older, grumpier, kind of out of shape, like not very attractive men, right?
Yeah.
What if I told you, and like when you think of like the NFL too, it's like, who do you think of as like, okay, these guys are the dream boats? Like, is there a position where it's like, that's the dream boat?
I have no clue.
There's a stereotypical
answer.
answer.
Quarterback?
The quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's dating the quarterback.
She's dating the quarterback.
So in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about why NFL coaches are all of a sudden hot.
Ooh, color me intrigued.
So in 2017, Sean McVay was hired by the Los Angeles Rams when he was only 30 years old. He became the youngest head coach in NFL history. Okay, so he's younger than like half of the team, or not half the team. So he's young, he's like younger than a bunch of the players, all of the coaching staff. He's this offensive like wunderkind, as they would say, or whatever. Like he's just this offensive genius. And they're hiring like Mark Zuckerberg to be the head coach of the team. Now, it was a smashing success. So Sean McVay took them from being the worst defensive team to the best defensive team in 1 year. And in fact, the following year, they made it to the Super Bowl. Here's the thing. The NFL, like a lot of other industries, when somebody's successful, everyone else just kind of tries to replicate it. Mm-hmm. So it's like in pop music, like when Britney came along, all of a sudden here's Christina Aguilera and here's Avril Lavigne and here's Pink and stuff. And it was like when Billie Eilish came along, it was like all of a sudden all these pop girlies are wearing baggy shirts and talking about being depressed and watching The Office or whatever. Like people follow trends. So like this person's successful, I'm going to do that.
It's kind of like how every rap girl wants to be Nicki Minaj.
Every rap girl, they all want to be. And it's like Cardi can kind of do it, but nobody else really can.
Kind of, yeah.
So all these other NFL teams are trying to copy the Rams and hire these young coaches.
Yeah.
And some of them are hits and some of them are misses. The reason why some of them are missing is because they're missing the most important factor.
Which is?
It's a blaringly obvious factor. Sexiness.
Ooh.
Now, you're going to think I'm being silly, especially if you like follow football and stuff. You're going to be like, what are you talking about? But I'm 100% right. And honestly, they should write this down and NFL teams should hire me because I literally solved this whole problem. So here are the rules. We're going to test this out.
Okay.
I have a slideshow of every young, I'm counting young as 42 or younger.
Okay.
Every young NFL coach who's been hired since Sean McVay. You're going to tell me whether or not you think that they're hot or not.
Okay.
And we're going to see if that coincides with their success.
Okay.
So the rules are, have to be a young coach, have to be an offensive coach, have to be hot.
Okay.
You get bonus points if you have an Irish last name or if your first name is either Matt or Mike.
Okay.
Those are the rules.
Okay. So pretty privilege actually gets you somewhere in NFL.
Oh, where doesn't it get you somewhere?
That's true, sister. So, okay. So you're going to show me a coach and I'm just basically going to say if he's hot and then if he is he successful?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Matt Nagy, 39, Chicago Bears.
Not hot.
Fired.
Ooh.
2019, Matt LaFleur, Green Bay Packers.
Hot.
He is one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Okay, Mr. LaFleur.
Cliff Kingsbury, 39, Arizona Cardinals.
Hot.
So this is the one that's interesting because he was fired, but that's because the Cardinals are a joke and he's been recently hired as the offensive coordinator for the Redskins and they're the best offense in the league right now. So it's like, yep, still successful.
Okay.
Boom. Adam Gase, New York Jets, 40 years old.
Not.
Fired. Freddie Kitchens, 44, Cleveland Browns.
Not.
See ya. Zach Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals, 35.
Not.
See, that's what's interesting. So he, right now, people are going to be like, what are you talking about? Like, he's still on the team. He's been coaching since whatever it is, 2019. He's going to get fired.
Okay.
He's not a good coach.
He's on the chopping block.
He hasn't been fired. Well, he hasn't been fired yet, but he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL. He will be fired. So still counts, still works. 2020. Matt Rule, 44, Carolina Panthers. Really?
Not. Sorry. That's a me problem. Not hot. I paused. Not. I have bad eyes.
Fired. Joe Judge, 38, New York Giants.
Not.
Fired. One of the worst coaches ever. Okay. Kevin Stefanski, 37, Cleveland Browns.
Hot.
He's won multiple Coach of the Year awards.
Okay.
So far.
Wow.
This is 100% accurate.
The sample size is large too.
Oh, it's huge.
Okay.
Everybody wants a Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, 38, Atlanta Falcons.
Not.
See ya. Nick Sirianni, 39, Philadelphia Eagles.
Hot.
You're saying he's hot?
I mean, he looks a little tired, but
I guess he's kind of got like the Pete Davidson thing. Well, honestly, that works too because it's like he's probably going to get fired, but he's went to the Super Bowl. He's still like kicking it, so it kind of works.
Okay, yeah. No, that was more of like a that was like on the line for me, but I was like, yeah, I'd give him a shot.
Okay, 2022. Nathaniel Hackett, 42, Denver Broncos.
Hot.
One of the worst coaches ever. Mike McDaniel, 38, Miami Dolphins.
I feel like this is a bad picture of him, but no. But I feel like I've heard his name is positive.
But okay. Yes, it's correct. But you're forgetting the rule. You get bonus points if you have an Irish last name and your first name is either Mike or Matt.
That's what was throwing me off.
Boom.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell, 36, Minnesota Vikings.
Hot.
Well, he's amazing. Yep, they're in first place in the NFC North. Okay, and now we have our final three coaches. So we don't know what's going to happen with these coaches. We don't really know a ton. They took over shitty teams. You are going to tell me whether or not you think they're hot or not, and then we can basically use that because everything else is so accurate to predict their longevity in the NFL.
Okay, so this is basically us putting in our bets right now.
Yeah, putting in our bets. Okay. Shane Steichen, 37, Indianapolis Colts.
He's great teeth. No.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Shane. Probably not going to end well. Brian Callahan, 39, Tennessee Titans.
No.
Okay. Dave Canales, 42, Carolina Panthers.
Hot.
He's the one where I think he is so conventionally attractive and stylized where I actually think he might be the exception to the rule where it's kind of like,
he'll be bad.
How can he focus on football?
Yeah.
How can this man focus on football? He should be modeling like toothpaste.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty privilege does get you somewhere.
It does.
No, not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
Hot people can do things too. Hot girls, we have problems too. We're just like you, except we're hot.
Hot girls, we have problems too. And that's this week's sports gossip.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, happy early anniversary, baby.
Happy early anniversary, babe.
And make sure you guys like and subscribe and follow this podcast, The Public Pool.
The Public Pool Podcast.
Yeah.
So that way all the fucking Subway Surfer TikTok accounts don't keep getting all of our money. I'm beefing right now with the Subway Surfer accounts.
Yeah.
They seem to have taken our clips and monetized them, so we can't.
So if you
see them, report them or tag us in the comments.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Kisses. And we will see you guys next week.
Dry off, grab a
with
towel.
a brand new president-elect.
President Jill Stein.
Jill Stein.